So over the last few weeks, I've been focusing on the 5 ways to wellbeing, and we've been talking more in detail about social connections, being physically active, and the benefits of learning. So for this one, I'm going to be talking about giving and how that can benefit others and ourselves. Now, you might be thinking, well, how can giving to others help me feel better about myself? The thing is though, giving does make us feel good. And I suppose in my own experience, whether that's been giving money to charity or actually being able to give my time and my skills to help other people on a voluntary basis, that's made me feel happy seeing the effects that it's had on the other person. And it's about doing that, giving someone your time. It doesn't have to be money, it doesn't have to be something physical. It's some kind of resource that you have that you can use in order to benefit another person. And then in turn, that has a positive effect on how you feel. And when we think about giving, one of the first things, and in fact, I mentioned it as well when talking about my own experiences, that we tend to think about is giving money, whether that's through cards or through online donations or physical cash itself in a cash tin. And it's quite natural as well to think when we think about giving, to think of money because that's resources. It might even be that you have a direct debit or something like that, or maybe even purchasing something from a charity shop. So even then you get a benefit from that spend. It's still money. And this can come in many different forms as well, whether that's giving money to a registered charity, or it might be a Just Giving page, either for someone that you know, or maybe even a story that you've seen on the internet that's touched you in some way and you feel like, actually, yeah, I really want to help this individual for whatever reason that might be. Or it might be a cause that's run by friends or through sponsorship or anything like that. There are lots of different ways that we can give money. And also, it might even seem to some people like a little bit of a get out clause because it's like, well, yeah, I could do that abseil for charity. However, I think I'll just donate to the cause instead because then I've done my bit. I mean, that's just one example. But even then, if we're donating actual money, whatever form that comes in, it's still, we have to earn that money somehow, or we have to sacrifice a part of our resources that we have overall, enable to give it to somebody else. So that's why money usually is quite a big one and one that people will tend to think of first when it comes to giving. Another way that we can give is by giving physical items. Now this might be having a bit of a clear out and then any good quality used items that you don't need or you don't use anymore, giving them to a charity shop or to a charity that could directly distribute those items to the people that are going to need them. It's always a good excuse to have a clear out as well, and maybe you're thinking, times are tough at the moment. I do need to have a good sort out of what I've got. So this might seem a better way to actually be able to give rather than giving some money. And in some ways it's kind of quite easy to see where this benefits us because we're having a clear out, we're getting rid of some stuff that we don't need anymore. And we've got that feel good feeling as well of, okay, so we're not using this now, but maybe there's someone or some people out there that are actually getting a benefit from this. And that again makes us feel good. We're enjoying and utilising our own personal space better, as well as being able to provide for others that maybe wouldn't have this opportunity, again, whether that's directly or indirectly through charity shop sales. But either way, donating, again, is a really, really good way to give. Now, sometimes, as much as we might want to have otherwise, we just don't have the financial or the physical resources to give. But something that we do have, as long as we manage it correctly, is our time. And we have the option of using our time to give to others, whether that's volunteering for a formal charity organisation. And for example, in Derby, there is a charity called Padley that supports people who are at risk of homelessness or poverty. And I go there once a week so that I can, directly talk to the beneficiaries there or do any other jobs that might need doing, like making food parcels, toiletry parcels, whatever it might be. But that's using my time to be able to help a local charity that support a lot of people within the city of what they do as well. Or it might be sharing a skill with a friend or a family member. Like, for example, are you handy? Are you able to help someone out with some odd jobs or some cleaning? Are you able to offer any childcare to a friend or family member, or looking after a pet when someone goes on holiday? Or are you able to involve yourself in benefiting your local community in some way? It doesn't have to be an elaborate gesture. And when you're giving your time as well, you know what you can commit to or you can manage. And if you are actually going out there as well and volunteering somewhere, that also gives you the chance to get active and to meet and connect with other people as well. And you might even learn some new skills whilst you're sharing yours and your time. So definitely worth doing. And as we talked about before, the wonderful thing about the 5 ways to wellbeing is this ability to be able to link it together. So we've talked about social connections and how in the previous image I was saying about how if we're volunteering, we're getting to meet new people and interact and further develop our social skills. And not only that as well, but it can have a positive effect on our self-confidence and our self-esteem, just being able to use all these different opportunities. And sometimes, depending on what we're doing, we might be physically active. If it's doing, a community garden project or collecting some shopping for somebody, or it could even be befriending someone within the community and going out for walks with them. I mean, these are just ideas that I'm getting from the top of my head. It's still that opportunity to get active and learn new things, because if you're volunteering in a sector or doing something that you've not done before, then you've got the opportunity to pick up those new skills and utilise those as well. So that's how these different ways to wellbeing can all link together as well as being addressed individually. So actually, by ticking one off your list, you're probably covering, well, all of them by doing that in some ways. It's really important to remember though that when you are giving, that you're not obliged to give. Although yes, you're absolutely doing this to help and benefit other people, you've got to think about your own well-being. And if it's at a point where you're thinking, yes, I'm doing this, I'm helping other people, I'm seeing this effect and I'm feeling really, really good about it, that's absolutely fantastic. But if you find that you're giving too much, that you're actually suffering yourself, again, whether that's financially, or you find that you're giving away things that you need at the expense of trying to help others, but not actually considering your own needs, again, that's going to be detrimental to your well-being. And the same as well about time. Absolutely make the time to volunteer, but make sure that you're managing your time in a way that's effective for you, because you don't want to be putting yourself out or selling yourself short here either. So again, now, why not use this opportunity to create your own wellbeing plan? What's just one thing that you can do each day or even each week that will cover your social connection, that will cover being physically active, cover learning a new skill and giving, again, whether that's your time or something physical? It's something as well that I've supported many people with as well in my experience as being a behaviour change practitioner. So if it's something that you're really serious about doing, but you want that accountability or that help to get started, absolutely get in touch. Because as I always say, nothing changes if nothing changes. So thank you again for joining me for this video about giving and the benefits to well-being when we give. There are all sorts in there. It's that good feeling of helping others, it's that feeling useful, it's that increasing our self-confidence, and depending on what you're doing as well, it's that opportunity to have a clear out and manage your own space too. But if you do want to get in touch to discuss anything that I've spoken to about here, or you want any assistance or any queries you've got about your own wellbeing journey, then absolutely get in touch. I'd love to speak to you about it. Anyway, take care and have a good day.